Okay, so we have this fancy new Intel Core i7 6700K and a fancy NVIDIA 980 Ti graphics card. So what do we test next? Well, let's test the integrated graphics on the Skylake processor, the Intel HD 530. Alright, so why test the Intel HD 530 integrated graphics when you have all these fun new toys? Well, I'm glad you asked. First off, because I can. Second off, it sounded fun. But I wanted to represent a couple scenarios. We wanted to represent our notebook brethren who have Skylake processors in them that also have the Intel HD 530 in it, though I believe they are clocked a little bit less aggressively than the desktop variants. So it gives kind of a rough guess of what you can expect performance-wise. The other group I wanted to represent was someone who has a Skylake build that does not have a dedicated GPU, but who wants to game casually on the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to run some synthetic benchmarks, but mostly we're going to run just gaming, because we're looking at if you wanted to game on the Intel HD 530 integrated graphics that comes on Skylake, what kind of performance can you expect, and is it playable? So a few things that I want to go over first is we will be using the 27-inch 2K monitor. The only reason we're going to do that is for filmability purposes, so when we're playing it, it's easier to show. I will force it to 1080p. 1080p is the target resolution for this type of casual gaming. That brings me to the next point, which is the games that I have chosen. I did not pick AAA titles. I did not pick The Division. You're not going to be playing The Division on integrated graphics, and if you are, don't expect much, if anything. I didn't pick Rise of the Tomb Raider, but what I did pick was I just picked good casual games. First, I picked Minecraft, a very simple and very popular game. If someone's gonna just casually game, Minecraft is at the top of the heap for that. Second, we're going to try to flex its muscles a little bit, but still something that's fairly light graphically, but enough to actually push it. So that's why I chose Counter-Strike Global Offensive, good old CSGO. So we'll see what kind of results we get there. And then finally, I picked a 2D game, Awesomenauts on Steam, and we'll just take a look at how playable that is. So yeah, we're not going to be doing any overclocking. We're just going to be using the stock settings. So anyone who falls into this category is likely going to be running the Intel Core i3 or maybe Core i5 and maybe the Core i7, but likely not the unlocked versions. So again, just stock settings, because that more accurately represents someone who wants to just venture into casual gaming and will be gaming on the integrated graphics on the Skylake platform. And I will be running XMP, but that's just to get the RAM running at its rated speed. Integrated graphics relies very heavily on system memory because it doesn't have any of its own. The other thing is I will be going into the BIOS and giving it the maximum system memory. So I went in and I changed the system memory available to the Intel HD 530 to, I believe it was 1 GB. And let's just jump right into the integrated graphics gaming. Alright, in this particular segment, we're gonna go over the We're gonna look at some of the games that we've got here while running on integrated graphics. Here we're looking at the 920 by 1080 resolution that I've forced on my 1440p monitor. So there's that right here. Before we get into the games, let's just go over the benchmarks real quick that we've got for Firestrike. Oh, and Heaven Basic. So on Firestrike, we got a score, and this is just Firestrike normal. We got a score of 1076, and on the Unengine Heaven Basic, we got a score of 699 with frames per second at 27.7 on average. Min is 7.4 and max is 61.3. All right, so first game, what do we got here? Oh, Minecraft, yes, Minecraft. So we've got the fraps counter up here. Let's take a quick look at the settings here. Video settings, full screen on. Now I actually left it at the default settings, so I'm actually running fancy graphics, smooth lighting, particles all on, all of them. All of the particles, yes. Entity shadows, full screen clouds, fancy, 16 chunks. Oh, I always thought chunks was kind of an interesting use of words here, but what the heck. Oh, and notice we did not limit the frame rate, so it'll just run free and wild. I'm not gonna do a pre-selected world. I'm just gonna make a new world and call it New World Demo. And survival. We're only gonna be playing for 30 seconds to a minute anyways. Now, the reason I kept the settings fairly high actually on this is because Minecraft is more of a GPU, or not GPU, sorry, CPU bound game. So my 6700K performing at stock is going to be more than plenty. But, you know, the graphics still has to play a part in this as well. So again, we have the monitor forced to a 1080p resolution. As you can see here, we're plenty fine. You know, hovering around in the 140 frames a second. So, I mean, really, Minecraft is not going to be an issue at all. So if someone has a Skylake processor, I'm sure that even the i3s and the mobile i3s could probably handle Minecraft just fine. I mean, you're not going to get the numbers that we're seeing up here. Oh, here we go. So now we're getting a little bit of a dip now that there's more world to render, but again, we're sitting in the 100 frames per second. So I would think that an i3, I mean, would probably even get maybe half of this. So even, I would have to check, but you know, you're still sitting in a very comfortable frame rate. I'm just running around here, just trying to. I have more benchmarking on the mind than playing, as you can see here. So yeah, run around the mushroom world. Woo! All right, so that's enough of Minecraft. So no problem there at all. So Minecraft, good to go. Casual gamer will be just fine on integrated graphics. You're not getting anything really any special with a special GPU in there. So next, let's go into our Steam library. So games. Let's pick something a little more GPU bound. So let's do Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Now, I don't know what's more offensive, how bad I am at this game. I'm not going to be playing it online because I don't want people to make fun of me. Well, you guys will anyways. But alas, I'll just play with bots just so I'm not screwing up people's games. So we'll go into the settings here. Video settings. Now, I actually left everything high. Yeah, high, very high. Enabled for multi-core rendering, MSAA, I have it cranked. Trilinear texture filtering, FXAA, anti-aliasing, disable vertical sync. I didn't turn on motion blur, but most everything's high on 1080, so I think you'll be surprised at how well this actually does. Again, keep in mind this is on a 6700K, so this is one of the better scenarios, okay? So keep that in mind. This is more just for ballpark range type stuff. So let's go ahead and play offline with bots. We'll pick, what the heck, Tulip. I've never played this map. Medium bots. Cat Food created this map. Thank you, Cat Food. This map has been brought to you by Cat Food. Continue. Alright, so you'll find that... Oh, there we go. Oh, I have to wait. So you're going to be sitting... Now, keep in mind, this is with all high settings. It's a little choppy. You know, we're sitting around in the high 20s, dipping down to the low 20s. Now, I'm not very good at this game. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to just scale it down just a little bit here. The benchmarking I did was with actually all these settings, but let's just do medium down the whole bit here. Medium, medium, medium. We'll turn off MSAA, texture filtering. We'll turn it, we'll just do like bilinear or something. We'll disable this. Yeah, this looks good. So let's see how that affects performance here. We're playing with all medium settings here, with most of the anti-aliasing turned off, and we're sitting at a pretty smooth, pretty solid 60. This is pretty good. Let's just YOLO it. Okay, run away, run away. Oh, I just got shot. Not good. Not good at this at all. Okay, so we'll just... Yeah, 75, 70... And that's just changing it to medium. So again, remember, we are playing on the integrated graphics. Again, I can't stress it enough. This is your best case scenario because this is the desktop i7 6700K we're working with here. So anything else is going to be probably below this. Oh yeah, smoke. It doesn't like smoke. Woo! It really drops it in frames. Ironically. But no, this is perfectly playable. Medium settings looks good. A little bit of tearing, but that's because we have the VSync off. YOLO! Oh, run away! Run away! Yep. So, yeah, this is perfectly acceptable and perfectly playable. So someone who has a Skylake processor, they can pick up CSGO and just start playing. Oh, and I'm not very good at this game. Alright, that's enough for that game. Let's go on to... let's see, let's get out. Exit. Alright, so next game, Awesomenauts. This is a 2D side-scrolling team platformer, blah blah blah. So we're actually just going to crank the graphics, run off of DirectX, full screen, 1080p, no VSync, and multi-threading. I'm not very good at this game either. I pretty much got it just for benchmarking purposes, and it was in my library. Okay, yeah, and I even debated even showing this one because The reality is it handles it just fine. You'll see. Oh, oops. See, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing in this game. I tried this guy last time, wasn't very good. Or I'm just not very good. Well, we'll do Froggy G. What's up? Alright, yeah, so again, I think the really high frame rates are attributed to this being the i7-6700K, but I mean, I don't expect the i5 to really be a whole lot worse, or the i3, or even the mobile versions. I don't expect those to be a whole lot worse than this. I mean, the HD 530 is pulling most of its weight. Yeah, 200, yeah, perfectly playable. Any of these 2D games just aren't demanding enough. And the HD 530 on the Skylake platform is more than capable of handling these 2D games. And as you saw earlier, it's perfectly capable of handling, you know, a lot of these, you know, very popular games that aren't as graphically demanding as well. We saw in CSGO that if you change things to medium settings, you're gonna get about 60 frames per second, which is more than fine. Again, that's on my 6700K, but I mean, I don't expect the i5 or the i3 or the mobile variations to be any worse. So yeah, there you have it. So gaming on the Intel Skylake HD 530, casual gaming is just fine, but don't expect anything beyond that. Maybe this will be a good gateway drug into getting a graphics card. That's where the real fun is anyways. But no, if you have an Intel Skylake processor and you do not have a GPU, you can definitely casually game. You can play Minecraft, you can play CSGO, you can play any of the 2D games, no problem. But as soon as you get into AAA titles, you're not going to be playing The Division. You're not going to be playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. You're not going to be playing Witcher 3 or Crysis 3. It's just not made for that. And if you're on a notebook, you should still be able to play those titles I was mentioning earlier. So anyways, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe in the link down below. If you like this video, like it. If you don't, dislike. And we will catch you next week.